evening, everyone. Ray the Dashing Womble here. Yep, a little bit on the bright side tonight. Yeah, hope everyone had a great day, evening, whenever you worked. Hopefully it was good for you. And we started a bit earlier today. I really didn't want to start too early because, well, it don't work for us too well. And it's well, we took the wife to rehab. Went and got some lunch. Actually, no, I went and picked up the new shirts today, and then went over to get some lunch, and then found our way over to Lee Summit and try to do some work. Oh no, took the van for a bath and then tried to do some work. But yeah, got the new shirts. I'll put they're rather bright. Very bright, actually. But not sure I'll be wearing one tomorrow though, because it's a tad on the chilly side at the moment. I went out in shorts today. I thought it was going to be a bit chillier, but bloody hell. It was like okay during the day and then steadily started going down, and now the van will tell me that we're at 66. Well, the van's lights. It's about 60 degrees. My wife will tell you that it's cold. Well, when you're out there in a pair of shorts and it's pissing down with rain, yes it is. It's a tad on the chilly side. I decided that I needed a bit of warmth because it's been on low all day with the air conditioning on. But yeah. So anyway, did everyone have a great day? I hope you did. I hope you all had made some money on that. It was just the usual. Usually, it just don't work for me on a during the day anymore. I think as the days get a bit chillier and a bit shorter, then maybe things will pick up a tad. I'll find out. I was eating some ice. So yeah, it was what did I do today? Yeah, like I said, got the new shirts. Extremely bright. I'll put a picture up here in a bit, but yes, they're much better quality than the last one. I'm going to do a video on that because I wasn't impressed with the other place at all. These ones are done by Sunshine Sports and Apparel, I think is what the rest of it is. I'll have to find their card. And actually, I think I've got it in the phone, so I'll put that up here too. But yeah, they do all sorts of things, all sorts of different custom designs, whatever you want to do. And you can have it with direct to garment printing, or DTG, or you can add the vinyl. This one actually feels like it's got vinyl on it, but I didn't care. And whatever the other one is. Oh, excuse me, heat transfer, I think. Anyway, easy company to work with. They took a bit longer, but that's fine. I wasn't in too much of a hurry, but I was today because I knew that it was going to get a bit chillier soon, and you know I just wanted to have it because I'd ordered it, and you know, try and get the bloody Dashing Womble name out there a bit more. People can get to see it and such. Anyhow, but yeah, that was ready, so went off over to get that. and we was in Blue Springs, so went down to Independence, picked it up. I'd never even seen that woman before, but as soon as I walked in, she knew who the bloody hell I was. Maybe she's been watching my video. But anyway, I mean, if Sunshine are watching, a big thank you for the t-shirt. Great customer service. Yeah, I know how to wait a little bit, but they're a very busy company. They do a lot for schools and such in the area, making all their shirts and that. 90 wanted one, and they didn't have my size in stock. I don't know why, it's only 3 times. I just like to have a little bit more play in mine. But anyway, so I weren't too bothered about the weight on it. But the service was real good, and it was actually cheaper than the flipping last one that I got. And yeah, quality of the shirt too. Quality of the shirt is a heck of a lot better than it was on the last one. The other one was direct to garment, and I'll put them side by side. You'll see what the difference is. I've only washed the other one, once or twice I've washed the other one. And maybe twice. And it's faded. It's but it wasn't that brilliant to start with anyway. And I didn't really care for the customer service at that one. The bird that served me at the other one, it's like, blimey, I'm sorry, but sorry that I've come in here and I've disturbed you. Oh, jeez. But I'd like to buy a shirt with whatever my design is. Would you like me to pay you, or would you like me to just go away and leave you to it? Stupid people. Anyhow, so what happened today? Nothing really happened today. It just weren't that busy. Weren't that busy for us, and when we got a dashing, or for me. Did one job, 6.5 knicker, I think it was. Wasn't going that far. Actually, it was from the mint. And picked that one up. Went back, sat around a bit. Then it just went dead. It was like I had 3 apps on. Nothing. Not a bloody bean. And then it woke up again. And it was just a bunch of not worth doing. And then my wife had the bright idea, well, why don't you go over to the other side of town? Well, because we pick them up this side too. Anyhow, to prove me wrong, the bloody zipping thing started ringing like a crazy thing when we got to the other side of town. But again, it weren't. They were orders that were quite paying okay. But they were taking him out to Grandview or Raytown or somewhere well out of the way. I certainly didn't want to have been dashing Grandview. Don't know Grandview too well. Don't care to want to rip in Grandview either, for the most part. It's just an area I'm not too keen on for some reason. And then Raytown, I don't really want to get involved in going to deliver in Raytown. Raytown isn't... Jeez, I live in Raytown, but I don't really want to deliver in Raytown. But some parts of it are okay, but there's older parts of it, and there's quite a few flats.
Drive to highlighted route.
Quite a few flats, apartments. Oh, look at that. You know, I'm sat in the same bloody spot I was yesterday, right? And my GPS went off on me last night while I was sat here. And yesterday or last night, it said it started itself up and it wants to lead me home. And it tells me last night it told me I was 200 foot away. I'm in the exact same spot. Outside my garage door, probably about 4 foot away, if that. it tells me tonight it tells me I'm 150 feet away. I don't know where the thing is, but I know where I'm going, you stupid thing. I'm already here. Bloody daft thing, ready to navigate. Anyway, if you want to know what the voice is on there, it's called Wallace and Gromit. That's Wallace and Gromit. If you got yourself a Garmin, you can go plug it in and you can download it and get the same voice. Just go look it up. It's a crazy flipping animated telly show, kids telly show type thing. So it's got some fun voices in it. For another bit of ice. While I still got it. Got what's his name over there? Paddington's been driving me crazy all day long. Keeps asking for marmalade sandwiches. Went to Shake Shack tonight. The first time I've ever been there on a job. Came through as an Uber Eats rather. Oh jeez, it was. I didn't really want to take it, to be fair, because I hadn't been there before, and it was right in the dinner hour, and I've seen like the mess and that goes on around there, where they put that, because there's other restaurants popping up around there now. Red Door Grill or something, I think, is one. There's something else over there, but I can't quite remember what it is, or if I ever knew. But it's all next to Bibby Bop and that, just on Pryor Road and Chipman Road, all on that sort of corner. But yeah, it's you cooled down there. That's only eating now. But yeah, that was it. That was actually when I established where the door was to go in. Like I said, not been there before. We've eaten at one, but it was in Kansas somewhere, and I don't say I was all that impressed, but anyway, so yeah, went through the door, and it said, you know, park up, go in, establish where the pickup thing is, and go tell an employee that you're there for picking up for Uber or whatever. And yeah, I walked through the door, and there's a shelf with a couple of bags on it, and mine was on there, so I grabbed it and went back out. Someone had all they had was a rack. That was all they had. And they paid I think it was $10 or $12 or something to have it delivered. Thank you. So got that one delivered, but yeah, today I was sat here trying to decide. I went to the petrol station after having the van had a bath, and I suddenly turned around because there's something I'm seeing in the corner of my eye, and there's a spider on my window. I'm not too keen on spiders. Anyway, so I'm like trying to determine whether it's inside or out. Give me in. Anyhow, I opened up the door, flipping got something here, pushing me out of the door. And then I closed all the door off and that. And then all of a sudden he comes walking back up again. Oh my God. So I made sure he was out this time. Okay. Little bugger. I've got a picture of him. Or her. And then later on I thought, oh, there's a bug on the window. Oh, is it in there? I'm trying to blow it off the window. I thought, oh, it must be outside then. Then I went to touch it, it wasn't. Oh shit. set my wife off laughing, that was for sure. She thought it was hilarious. It's because it weren't on her side. But had a couple of dogs were barking at me today, but nothing too fierce. Didn't get to see any. Did, however, decide to give up a bit earlier tonight. We had worked a bit. It's not like we hadn't worked. Well, I hadn't worked. Mistakenly went to another block of flats this evening. That was the last job. Yeah, that was the last one. But it was it got pretty busy for the dinner hour when it started getting a little bit darker and such. Well, no, just before that, I'd done all right. Didn't do any catering ones. No catering ones tonight. It was there was a lot coming through that were just it's crazy offers. And then it starts, getting cooler and cooler as the day goes on and that. And then it went right way down. It just dropped like flipping 5-6 degrees, and then it went further down and that. And then I'm like, I've only got shorts on and a t-shirt. It's going to get a bit flipping chilly. But I still had the air conditioning on and on the low in the van. But anyhow, people seem to be driving like flipping loons and that towards the end of it, and just stuff it. Well, actually, I didn't. My wife did. Just go home. So that's what I did. Didn't have to ask me twice. So yeah, got no flipping. I don't think there's any doctors to take her to tomorrow, so I won't have to be out the house early, thankfully. Too early. But yeah, I see more people are putting up decorations. So again, you need to get yourself some light. Tonight, if you've been pulled up on someone's, a couple of people's houses, they didn't have the flipping porch light on, or flipping one stupid flipping porch light. That was well flipping not worth it. Anyhow, so I just shone the headlights on the door. Sod it. The people said, "Oh, don't ring the bell. We don't want to set the dogs off." Yeah, but don't ring. The dog's going to go off when I trip arse over it because you haven't put the bloody porch light on into it. Anyway, so I just shone the headlights full beam on it. Poof. There you go. I can see now. And then had another one like it too. So I did the same there. And then I had another one that said just to text them when I got there. So I pulled up outside their house. The driveway was packed. And pulled up out there. I said, just arrived at your address. And then they switched the porch light on. Oh, there you think. Okay. That worked. So yeah, delivered that one and went off to elsewhere. Did a few around Greenwood area and mostly around sort of like Lee Summit, inner Lee Summit, whatever, in that area. Didn't really travel too far away. I think 155th Street was the furthest I went. So, but did 70 miles today. I used 2 trackers on the thing to track the mileage, and we'd had to turn the phone off a couple of times, so I think they got turned off and wiped out somehow. So anyway, luckily I take a picture of the clocks or the mileage before every day when I get started, and which is what I post on here sometimes, as you see. And yeah, I just took it from that, and we've done about 70 miles, so I was able to transfer that to there, and then just figured out what time it started, and that was it. So I had to enter all that in manually. Done most of it was DoorDash today. I don't think I did any Grubhub. Did a couple of Uber Eats though, but they didn't amount to much. I mean, they were like about $8 a piece or something. None of them were going too far, but that was fine. Yeah, really nothing else today. Really, it's just somewhat of a non-eventful time the last few days. Hasn't been anything that stood out or anything. I haven't been chased by any dogs. I haven't been arse bit or anything, or threatened to have me arse bit. I posted a picture of the t-shirt. Just got this rather bright t-shirt. Got those and put those on Facebook, and then I had a friend that said, "Oh yeah, we'd rather see you modelling it." Yeah, I did. Got my wife to take a picture of me looking daft, modelling. Yeah, and again, you know, you really need to, first of all, torch the Vipertech. Like I said yesterday and any other time, it works for me. I like it. It works. There's a little bit of protection there in case someone wants to start any nonsense. Something to warn them off or whatever. Delivered to those flats tonight. Yeah, that tonight actually went inside of them, but I know in that and it was all lit up inside, so that was fine. But I know on that flat, the other blocks of flats around the corner from that one, all part of the same complex, but you deliver to the outside. You have to go up on a corridor, up the steps, and wander around outside. And one of them at least doesn't have any lighting on it on the outside, and so you can't really see where you're going, obviously, when it's dark. So having a torch for that is beneficial. But you know, I have been just blocking out all of those. I've just been avoiding flats as much as I can. I'll go to the Donovans, and there's that lot down on Longview that I found out now that has a lift in it. But the Donovans, yeah, they have a lift in it, and they're not all that flipping too hard to negotiate. And a lot of the people in there have dogs, so if anything happens, they'll just open the door, and whoever starts issues will get licked to death, probably. But no, I just don't like delivering to flats, or apartments, whatever you want to call it. And some houses are like it. I don't like to grip and go to them either, because they got too many steps in it, and I don't like it. It just hurts my knee a lot. And by the end of the night, I'm flipping, I'm walking on a cane. It's just like when I get home or whatever. I do have one, because if I sit down when I get home and it hurts like it ought to get back up again. But yeah, I've got that, and so that's really why I don't like to deliver to them. Plus some of them, I mean, landlords or whoever it is that are well, even tenants. I mean, tenants want their food delivered. For crying out loud, stick a flipping number on your house, your front door. I mean, get a couple of sticky vinyl things. You can go down to bloody Lowe's or Ace or Walmart or wherever. Just buy a couple of sticky bloody labels and stick them on your bloody door. There's some, oh good grief, there's some, and it's not only one block of flats that have got this. They've got these tiny little flipping knockers about that in the middle of their door, about that high, about flipping 2 inches, if that. And they got these tiny little knockers that they put on. So you knock on the door, right? And in the middle of that is where the number of the house was. And it's most of them are just like worn out and faded off and that, all the paintwork or whatever on it. And it took me a while to flipping figure it. Well, in fact, I didn't figure it out. One of the tenants flipping told me. I was actually sometime over the Christmas period, I think, or just before it. And yeah, they said, oh yeah, they're in the knockers. I said, you got to be kidding me, ain't you? Are you sure? Oh yes, they do. Anyone got magnifying glass? Jeez. So you got to go right up to the bloody knocker to see where it is, which is daft really, because if you've been peepee hole just there, so someone looking out to see me going. But it's so just, you know, and put the bloody numbers on the outside of the building too, your flat numbers or whatever in that block. There's a lot of them do it, but then there's an awful lot of others that don't. And you go to one block and you can't see the actual number of that particular building number, and then you can't figure out which flat numbers or whatever, whether it's B2, flipping B3, or I don't know, C2 or whatever. C2. Anyway, they just don't have them on there, and it just gets frustrating trying to figure all that out. So there's a lot of things I don't really like about going to the apartments, because then, like, if they don't have the numbers on them or and such, don't have any clue, or it's too small to see, or it's worn off of the building somehow, or whatever the reason is. There's some of them that they have the light on them, but it's either facing the wrong way, or the light is blinding you so much that you can't see what the hell it's supposed to be shining on. Actually, that was one out in Grandview that did that. Actually, two out in Grandview did that, and the light was so bloody bright, you just couldn't see what the number was, because you got this bloody great spot in your eye. Oh, and all I could see was like looking in the sun when you got spots all the time. So you couldn't see the darn thing. So yeah, so there's several reasons I don't like delivering the flats or apartments, whatever you want to call it. I call them flats back on. Don't call them apartments, they're flipping flats. So yeah, I mean,
Drive to highlighted route.
I wonder where it's going to flipping take me this time. Oh look, it now wants to take me home. I haven't moved an inch, still about 4 foot away, and now this thing's telling me I'm 140 foot away. Oh yeah. Turn it off again. See how long what it tells us next time, if at all. So yeah, so I said about the torch and that. Also, when you're going to people's houses and such, if you see a table or something, I've seen, like when I've gone up to these houses and they've had food left already, by another Dash or Uber or whoever it is that's left the food's just dumped on the ground. Even though there's a table or something there, or a little bench. Put it on the bench. There's going to be less bugs that are going to get onto it that way, because they ain't going to be all crawling up and down the thing. Plus the animals are going to, if there's a cat jump up on it, but it's going to be less likelihood of someone actually noticing it if you hide it behind something as well. Try to hide it behind the fence post or the post to the porch or whatever. Try to do that. Less likelihood that flipping someone sees something in it, because a lot of these places that are delivered to, that tend to deliver to, they do have people that are out taking their dogs for a walk, or just kids wandering up and down the street, etc., or just some sketchy looking people. I mean, I'm not saying that everyone's going to do it, but I mean, we all hear about people getting stuff stolen, especially like their Amazon packages, etc. I mean, I turn up to these places and they got Amazon packages or FedEx or whoever it is that's just left on the doorstep out in the open. I mean, I don't want to touch them, to move them anywhere, because it's not. I shouldn't be touching their stuff. But I mean, these things need to be hidden so bloody idiots don't come along and feel that they should steal it. So I tend to just try to hide it if I can. If there's a spot where I can hide it into, great. One house I delivered to tonight, actually that one from the Shake Shack, I think it was, and it was just like one little wrap, and bloody thing was light, and it was just really windy out, and I ended up tucking it behind the wall a bit, so up against the wall, because I didn't want the darn thing blowing away. It was that windy. But I mean, luckily they had a porch and that there. It was somewhat wrapped around, so hopefully she came out. I think it was a she. It was four. Came out and got it pretty early. Hopefully. I needed some water. I'm chatting so long. So yeah, what else we need? So I've got this, still got my iPhone. Actually, my old iPhone. Keep meaning that I want to use it as another camera. Hopefully I can get that working soon. Trouble is, I can't really carry it around with me because I don't have it. Not in this one, at least. I don't have a pocket or anything. But if I put my shirts on and that, then maybe. If it gets a bit cooler, and I'll put my shirts on and I'll have a pocket for it to go in. I've got to empty the pictures out of that. I took some pictures out of it today when I was sitting around. Oh, bloody hell, that thing again.
Turn left.
Turn left? Where the bloody hell do you want me to go now? Now it's trying to direct me away from the house to come back to the house. I think it's a Fruit Loop. Every now and again that thing, like, because it's got that different voice in it, it comes up with different phrases. It's quite flipping funny. The darn thing ain't even on. I like to have it on the dash, because it shows me the upcoming roads and that are coming up, and also what is it? Also when I go to an estate or somewhere where it drop off, big complex or whatever you want to call it, new housing estate, etc. if I don't know how to get out, because some of these places, I'm sure you've all flipping done it. You know, you goes left, right, flipping here, up and down here, turn right here and that. And you get there and you go, oof, wish I had a map to get me out of here. Well, I mean, if you get in there, there's several ways. I mean, if you don't know your way out of it and you can't remember some of these bloody places. But anyway, I mean, most of us would get used to it, I suppose, after a fashion, but some of them, they dig you, like these deliveries, they dig you right in the bloody middle of them somewhere. But with the Garmin, I don't know if it's the same with all of them, but it's got the little blue line. So it shows you where you've just been. And so you can follow that out, so I can follow that out. And then it shows, you know, you can see from afar where, like, go to Ward Road or 291 or whatever, you can see it. You can see there's a main road, so you just head to it. But I know that if you got DoorDash on, just DoorDash, if you got DoorDash on, it doesn't work, I don't think, on Uber or Grubhub. But if you got DoorDash on, DoorDash tells you at the bottom of it, if you're not a driver, or even if you're a driver and you don't know this, but DoorDash comes up and it tells you, like, at the bottom of their map, it shows you what they say is their more busier spots, basically just places where they just want you to sit, where they think it's going to get busier. They're not always right. So so if you see that, when you see those at the bottom of it, it will say, like, I don't know, Casey's on Langsford Road, or the Mint on Rice Road, or Hawaiian Brothers on 291, etc. And the list goes on, doesn't it? But so when you see those, they're at the bottom, they've got a square and it tells you how far away they are from where you are at the moment. Just click on one of those. Click on one of those and you can get directions. It will give you directions back to it. So if you're stuck out in the middle of, I don't know, Lake Lotawana, for example, where it's always a bloody nightmare, click on whatever's up nearest and just, it will give you directions. And once you figure out that you get yourself out there, out on the road where you know, then at least it's got you out of a situation where you're not going to be lost anymore. So that's always a good thing to do. Hey, I've done a top tip. Yeah, like I said, coming up to the winter time now, I know we've just coming out of the summer and that, but, you know, you need to get your oil changed on your vehicles. You need to get some tyres as well if you've not already done so. You don't necessarily need a brand new set of tyres. New tyres that cost an absolute arm and a leg. You're going to be going through tyres, using your vehicle all the time. I tend to just go to a used car place and get them. Although I did get a brand new one on the back a few months or so back. It just at the time it just needed a new one because, well, I couldn't get a used one in that tyre size, and I needed one. I think the other one had gone flat and I just needed a new one on there, so just got that done. And I had to cough very hard because it was quite expensive, and that was even with a bloody discount for working at the garage too. It was still bloody expensive. But yeah, just bang a set of flipping used tyres on it. That's what I normally do. Like, I think like a brand new one on this, obviously depending on the make, etc. you get. But let's say it's a Bridgestone or something, it's going to be about 140, if I'm lucky, $180 or something. But with a used one, you can get a good. I got a good used one the other day. If you've been down at that garage down in a place called Knobtown, not the most appropriate name of a town, but anyway, got that, and that was like $60, I think, $50 or $60. So that was a heck of a lot, and it's got pretty darn good tread on it, and it's a pretty good tyre actually. And I'm grateful that I did get it flipping now because, or then rather, because the other one was getting a little bit slick, and I knew that it was going to be rain coming at some point on the weather, so by looking at the weather. So yeah, I've got it just in time. I'm happy about that because it's got some grip on the front now. But yeah, I mean, just get a second hand. Now, what I will suggest is, if you're, like I said, maintenance on the vehicles, maintenance, there's a lot of things that you're going to be needed to do. Oil changes, you're going to be getting those more frequently. You'll get those, every 3,000 to 10,000 miles, 3,000 to 10,000 miles, depending on your vehicle's specified time of getting the oil changes done. 3,000 miles is a bit ridiculous, I think. 6,000 to about 6,000 miles is good. 10,000 if you're using the thicker oil, the synthetic oil. 10,000 should be sufficient on that, but mostly around 6,000 miles. But always check it. I don't always check it, but I'll tell everybody to check it. Definitely check it at least once a week. Check your lights on your vehicles too. Got to keep up on those. Actually, I need a bulb in a number plate light. And I need a fog lamp bulb down there because I whacked it one too many times. We've been hitting the bump several times going into the back end of Lake Lotawana, and there's this horrible dip, and I forgot about it a couple of times and whacked it really flipping hard on that side, and it's knocked the filament loose. It's I've got all LEDs on the front, but this LED couldn't cope with all the whacking by the sounds of it. The other one's away, perfect. So yeah, get yourself some LED lights as well. You need to do that. Get rid of those stupid halogen bulbs, and because they need far too much energy and don't push out enough light. Especially if you're going down these dark flipping roads, estate roads. For some reason, they don't always light up these flipping fancy flipping out fancy. You've got all these fancy houses, but they don't seem to light the bloody roads up that well, which don't work too well when you're trying to take your bloody dog for a walk. And then why is it when these houses, they've got all these estates, and some of them they have the like a nice pathways for you to walk down, for people to walk down, and these wallies, they walk down the middle of the bloody, or the side of the road with the dog. Why don't you just walk on the bloody path? That's what it's for. Wallies. Anyway, so yeah, the oil changes, the tyres, definitely need work. And look at and check on your lights too. Check on your wipers too. Wiper blades. I would say go. I know I'm going to do this too. I haven't done this yet, but the old rubbery ones, they tend to don't get those anymore. Get the silicone ones. Silicone's you know, you use the silicone stuff. Oops, that one was outside. Anyway, those are the wipers that you need. They'll withstand quite a heck of a lot more temperature differences and such. You use them in your oven. You use silicone in dishes in the fridge, in the freezer, and like I said, in the oven and that. They'll stand a flipping heck of a lot more abuse rather than the rubber. The rubber flipping, when it gets hot out, they start getting a bit brittle as well after a little while, and they just stiffen up. And then when it does start flipping peeing it down with rain, all you got is this horrible squeak going on. It, for me, that drives me nuts, because mine are doing that. I ain't done, and I need to get those done. But they're pretty fit. They ain't all that flipping old either. And brakes, you definitely need to get you're going to be going through brakes. There's no doubt about it. And I would say, do yourself a favour. Get the heavy duty brakes. Get heavy duty discs, because if you, like my one on the vans, they tend to warp, or they they get too hot, and they vibrate when if you're going at speed down the motorway, etc. They'll just shake the shit out of your flipping van and rattle your teeth out your head. I ended up just getting heavy duty brakes, put those on discs, and then putting ceramic pads in. Ceramic pads, they stop very well, and the heat dissipation on them is a heck of a lot better. I mean, they use the bloody ceramic brakes on Ferraris and stuff. I don't say I've got Ferrari brake pads. I'm sure mine are a lot cheaper than they are for a Ferrari. But they put those on there because they've got good heat dissipation on them. And so get yourself a set of ceramic pads and heavy duty discs, because you're going to go through discs. And if you have a set of heavy duty discs now, it's going to save you in the future. Because the last thing you want to be doing is changing the discs or the rotors, whatever it is, all the time. Those will get expensive if you have to change the bloody rotors. I've got discs on the back of mine, or rotors on the back of mine, so I've got heavy duty front and rear, and ceramic front and rear. So my van stops very well now. It'll cost a little bit extra, but pay it now to get the heavy duty discs or rotors, because it'll save you in the long run, and they won't drive you crazy when they start warping, because these are not warped. And I've slammed on the brakes several times on these, and they've not. They're doing well. So yeah, I think that's it really. I think that will do. I've rattled on long enough. If anyone's got any thoughts, or do you want me to talk about anything to help you out, etc. Like I said, I've never said that I profess to know it all. I don't. If someone tells you that they know it all, they're idiots. There ain't no way in hell. We had London taxi drivers like that back home. They would know every road in the flipping city. Yeah, complete load of bollocks. They do a testing to do it though, but they only get certain zones that they do it in. And they're never ever going to know every road, because they don't have to know every road. And things change. New businesses, etc. New roads. New one-way streets. Old streets get changed from one way to another way. Yeah. So when someone tells you they know it all, don't believe them. They're talking out of their arse. Anyway, alright, well, enough from me. Paddington says, I don't know what he says. He says, like, subscribe, and click the little bit like bell icon. Bloody get it right, bell icon. Anyway, click on that. He wants a marmalade sandwich. And oh crikey, I wish he'd ward off all the spiders though. And so yeah, that'll do it I think for me. Hope you all have for all the early morning dashers or the ones that are still working whenever I bloody finally get this up. Hope you all have a safe time. Hope you all have a stress-free time. Hope you all make some money at it. If you're out in the Lee Summit area tonight or Kansas City area, hopefully you're not getting wet. And if you're not now, there's going to be some rain coming. Some more. And I don't care about the wet myself. Grew up in a country that it rained a lot. Got used to it. And if you're a customer out there, hopefully you got your food delivered this evening or whenever you got it. And if your pickles or your cheese or whatever didn't arrive on the hamburger or whatever you've ordered, something didn't arrive on it, then don't blame the driver. The driver isn't responsible for what goes on your food. We're not allowed to look at your food. We're not allowed to open the bags, which is fine. I mean, I'm happy with that. I mean, would you want Vipin to know that the driver who don't know where his hands have been or her hands have been delving through your food? I wouldn't. So yeah, alright, well thanks for watching. Dipstick with a flipping neighbour going out. You can hear his flipping lump of junk. One of his lumps of junk. Maybe he'll take his motorbike out and slide it. Be handy. Anyway, so yeah, like, subscribe, click that little bell button. That'll warn you the next time I put a video out or any of the videos out. And ta-da.